Hello, my name's Mary.
And my name's Luke.
Welcome to Totally Schway Flipside, where we are finishing our journey with the Caped Crusader, Season 1.
Yeah, so this is all about Episode 10 of Batman Caped Crusader. Obviously, I say this most of the time when I remember to say it, this podcast is going to be full of spoilers.
Spoilers!
So, my God, watch the episode first. I mean, I suppose you could listen to this if you have no intention of ever watching it, but yeah, it was great.
It was great.
Really great. The wonderful final episode.
Yeah. And again, we are met with Harvey, Barbara, Kamish.
Montoya.
What if that annoys anybody?
Kamish, that's what Harvey Bullock in
I
BTAS
know, that's
calls
why
him.
I do. Sorry if I say Kamish.
Yeah.
And a few other memorable characters. And what's really crazy is this happens, I would say, in real time.
Yeah, virtually.
Yeah.
Virtually in real time, yeah.
And it's cool.
Yeah. Might be over the course of a couple of hours, but yeah.
Whatever. I like mine better real time.
Yeah. So, one thing I want to give people a little glimpse behind the scenes. Normally, Mary sits there and kind of makes notes while she's watching, but this time she just watched it without taking her eyes off it, apart from a couple of times when shocking things happened and she looked at me and like, what?
Yeah, but I kind of, okay, so I have to, okay, no, I'll say what I want to whenever we get to the ending of the episode.
Okay.
But I'm just going to say I predicted something to the frickin' T.
Yes.
To the frickin' T.
I don't remember if you said it on the podcast or not, but you've definitely said it on earlier episodes.
Yeah.
But yes, well, so this episode is basically Harvey Dent was captured in last episode, he's taken to jail. Mm-hmm. Barbara Gordon's going to be his lawyer. Now, obviously, Rupert Thorne wants him shut up so that he doesn't have a chance to testify and make a deal, which he assumes Two-Face will do. But the funny thing is, the whole time, Barbara Gordon and Bruce Wayne try and persuade Harvey Dent to take a deal, and he won't do it.
No, because he understands that he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
He did bad things, and he did those things.
Yeah, and by his own morality, which he attests to throughout the series, bad people don't deserve deals. He is a bad person, therefore he doesn't deserve the deal that he's being offered. And he says something to Bruce Wayne along the lines of, if anyone else had done half the things I'd done, they wouldn't be getting a deal. And Bruce says, Batman says to him, but you are you, so take the deal.
Yeah.
And it's funny, we talk a lot in the last episode about how seamlessly Diedrich Bader's performance switches from Harvey to like meek Harvey, the wounded Harvey. Hamish Linklater does something very similar in this episode with Batman, where he's talking to Harvey Dent, trying to persuade him, and he gets frustrated, and then his Batman voice slips through.
Yeah.
So like he says something like,
he's like, do it!
Yeah, he's like, why are you growing a conscience now, Dent?
Yeah.
Or something like that. And then he flips back to Bruce Wayne almost immediately. And they're trying to make the parallels between the two of them very obvious. And they succeeded.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
You're going to hear me say that a few times.
This is a very action-heavy episode, isn't it? Like the first 5 minutes are, conversations and building up to an attack.
When he is kidnapped from protective custody, who's kidnapping him? B&F.
Yeah, Bullock and Flass.
Oh my gosh, I'm so... Ugh.
Yeah, they are really detestable people, and they try and explain it away to Dent. Dent says, I thought we were friends. They're like, don't kid yourself. You're just the next stop in the line. Mm-hmm. All we're going to do is hand you over to Thorne. Whatever happens to you then is of your own doing. You should have known to play along and not cause any trouble. Of course, I love how perceptive Harvey Dent is as well, because he distracts Flass and Bullock by playing them against each other a little bit, by saying to Bullock, it's weird, Bullock, I always thought you were the one that was in charge, seeing as you do all of the dirty work. But really, it's Flass pulling your strings. He gets you to do the dirty work so that he's got some plausible deniability, that he doesn't know what was going on. Mm-hmm. Very clever, Flass. And they kind of, Flass and Bullock give each other like
that's when the action really starts. Yeah. And one thing to remember throughout this not just this episode, but this entire series, is Barbara doesn't give up.
No, she doesn't.
And that is to the very end. She does not give up.
Yeah.
And you can see that. And it's not because she wants to be the better person. It's because she is the better person.
Yes, yeah, and she stops Two-Face from going on a murderous rampage because he causes the car that Bullock's driving to crash, and then he kind of clambers out the back. And Barbara has been following them, and she handcuffs herself to Two-Face to stop him from going off and getting his revenge on Thorne, which is a very canny move. And she says she wants to take him into protective custody with her dad, because, you know, if anyone can be trusted, it's Commissioner Gordon and I suppose Renee Montoya. I assume Driver is still in the hospital after getting shot by onomatopoeia's men. So it ends up being them and Batman versus the corrupt police and the mob. And one of the things I really quite liked in this episode is Batman visits Barbara Gordon to talk about Harvey Dent. And she says to him, you know, I'm going to need some way to contact you if we're working together. And you're thinking, oh, bat signal time.
Yeah, I kept thinking that. I was like, oh, please, finally.
No, it's not a bat signal. What was it, Mary?
It was a phone number.
A phone number that lets her call the Batcave, and Alfred puts on an American accent, says, please hold.
Yeah, but what's funny is that Barbara does make a joke about it. She was like, do you want me to I thought you were going to tell me to put a blue signal in the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrong colors, Barbara. Wrong colors.
Well, it's better than a red light in the window.
Huh?
It's a sex worker joke.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the TLC song.
Or maybe that is a reference to it. I don't know.
I don't know.
Bet it is.
Who knows? Let's move on.
Anyway, yeah, let's move on. So she calls Batman on the payphone, and much to Two-Face's shock, he's like, he's got a phone number! And you know it!
What? You knew it?
Yeah. And this whole, like the last probably half of the episode is just so deliciously noir. Because they're going down to the docks where they're going to sneak Dent away with the help of Commissioner Gordon and Renee Montoya. But of course, it's a foggy night. There's thick fog everywhere. They can't see where they're going. And they're being pursued by, 15 mobsters? And including Bullock and Flass.
Yeah, 2 of which are their own.
Yeah. And it's literally just a game of like cat and mouse as they're running around through these shipping containers, trying to avoid being shot in the fog. Batman just picks off some of the henchmen, the goons, I suppose, one by one. Of course, he doesn't escape getting slightly injured. He gets his bell rung with a very firm punch to the face. And Commissioner Gordon saves him.
Can we talk about the gun?
Oh, well, all right. So do you want to just skip through most of the back and forth?
Yeah, because there's no point in us giving them the recap of it.
Yeah,
they can go and watch it on Amazon.co.uk or Amazon.com.
Or on the Prime Video app.
Yeah, which we have no affiliation with.
Yeah. It's ironic that Two-Face gets shot twice. First, he gets clipped by a bullet and he can't really walk anymore. So Barbara,
bullet in the gut.
Yeah, so Barbara's like dragging him back to her car, where Flass and Bullock are waiting. And Flass tries to shoot Barbara Gordon, but Two-Face kind of gets in the way, gets shot in the back, and is killed. And his final words are like,
Barbara.
Yeah, she says something like, "Why did you do it, Harvey?" And he goes, "Damned if I know."
And then he's like, Barbara.
Yeah, it's his wounded side took over, and then she was talking to Two-Face at that point. So Two-Face didn't know why he did it, but the wounded side of him, the wounded Harvey, was heroic.
After this, I believe it's right after this, Flass comes sneaking up behind.
He's going to shoot.
And he's going to shoot Barbara.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. We've got somebody that slaps that gun out of his hand who wants to put up their hand for the class. Okay, it's you in the back. Yeah, it was Batman.
Yeah, and
then the gun goes on the ground. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine.
And then who picks it up?
Batman does.
And you see it, and the entire time I'm seeing it, I'm like, no, they didn't, because that just ruins Batman for me. Like, I literally said to myself in my head, I was like, they're not going to ruin this for me, are they? And then you hear him, and I think it goes to Barbara.
Yeah, it cuts to Barbara,
and you hear
bang, bang.
I think it's 4
bang,
shots, maybe
bang,
5 shots.
Bang.
And you're like, okay, that's excessive. And then they show that the bullets or the bullet holes are around Flass's head.
Yeah, perfect outline around his head.
And then he punches him.
Yes.
Obviously.
But you can see that Batman is angered that he has been sullied by having to use that gun. He's genuinely furious with Flash. Like most of the time when he's fighting these villains, he's got a normal, cool expression. But Flash, he's gnashing his teeth and he knocks him the F out with like one punch. And then he hurls the gun into the sea. And because he looks at it and he just looks disgusted. He's furious. He hates guns.
Got rid of the evidence.
He did get rid of the evidence, but the bullet is still inside of Dent.
That's true. But I was so happy that he didn't like shoot Flash.
Yeah.
He just made a point.
Yeah, and so obviously Two-Face is dead. Two-Face has been killed.
I was not expecting that.
No, but that murder of his friend is kind of, and his reaction to it, is kind of is like almost the birth of Batman as we know him to be, because he goes back to the Batcave and he's staring at his badge of, his Harvey Dent for mayor, and he says that he saw something in Dent as Two-Face that reminded him of himself. And Alfred starts talking to him and saying, you're not the same as him.
And he said,
You've grown, you've developed,
Yeah.
you've made friends in your own way, which is kind of a backhanded compliment.
oh, and this is the moment we've all been waiting for. The entire show has led down to this moment. Bats / Bruce says Pennyworth. No. Alfred.
Yeah.
He says Alfred.
Yes. And it's a real shame that it took like the murder of his, I suppose, the closest thing he had to a best friend to help him see where he had perhaps been going wrong. His response to it is to open his heart up more. And I absolutely love the closing moments with Batman, because you see Rupert Thorne sat in his armchair staring out at the city like he always does. Like, that's his hobby, to sit there and just stare out at the city. And he's talking to some other corrupt cops, saying, just tell Flash and Bullock to keep their mouths shut and tell them they did a good job. Yeah.
So I loved this because if you see Batman throws a batarang and he nicks Rupert Thorne's cheek and the batarang goes into the chair. Or and then you see something really freaking cool. You see Batman, and you hear and see the lightning, and it's so cool because it's like in my head the BTS theme started playing.
Yeah, it's just like the moment from the title credits of Batman the Animated Series.
And I was just like, that was a perfect way to almost in the episode.
Well, in a way, I'm actually kind of annoyed that Amazon released a still of that before the show came out, and it's like the headline banner image for Caped Crusader on Amazon Prime now, because it kind of takes away from the moment a little bit if you've already seen it. Because when I saw it,
I haven't looked at any promotional stuff.
Well, that's why you had the reaction you did, and when I was watching this at like 2:00 in the morning, I went, oh,
yeah. So I'm going to say something right now.
Yeah, massive spoiler.
I predicted this like so perfectly about what we're going to talk about now. And that is the next thing you see, it goes to black, and then it goes to someone who looks like they have had some of the funny medicine.
The Joker toxin.
Yeah, the Joker toxin. I was trying to be funny.
I know, but there's like 6 or 7 of them, all like contorted and twisted.
Yeah. And then, just like I predicted, like perfectly predicted, the last thing you see in season 1 of the Caped Crusader is an image of the Joker.
Yeah, he's kind of slightly shrouded in silhouette, but you can still see his eyes and part of his face. And he just goes, perfect.
Yeah, I cannot believe it. I literally said, and I'm gonna go down saying this like for weeks now. I predicted this exactly. I said it, and I said it to Luke. I was like, the last thing you're gonna see in this season is gonna be the Joker, and that's how they're gonna introduce the Joker. I freaking said it.
I actually really wanted them to introduce the man who would become the Joker throughout the series and have him be like a crime boss or something. That's the Red Hood, basically. But you don't see him become the Joker. Maybe you see that happen later on. But I'm not unhappy with what we got here, because they really linger on just how torturous the deaths of these people are. Because, as Mary said, you cut to this like shack in the East End. Presumably it's the East End. It's the poor area, basically. And you can hear someone laughing painfully. It's clearly not like a joyous laughter, desperately trying not to laugh. And the camera pans across at least half a dozen corpses, all in similar states of just... They're contorted and twisted, and they've got the grins on their faces. It's awful. And this guy is still alive, laughing, and then he dies. And that's when the Joker leans forward and goes, perfect. So he's been testing his Joker toxin formula to find just the right ingredients to get the results he wants. And he has got, it looks like he's wearing a big black coat. So he's a bit like the Joker that appeared in the first issue of Batman. I think his coat was purple as well, but it was a very dark purple if it was.
The voice, though, it's a deeper voice, and I like it.
Yeah, I don't know who's playing him because he's not credited.
I just can't get over that. I literally said it to you.
And the thing is, he's got slightly yellow eyes, but his irises are red.
Maybe he needs to get his liver checked out.
Yeah, his eyes are kind of bloodshot. He doesn't look like the funny guy. He looks like the guy that's been poisoning the reservoir and murdering bankers until they give him a load of money. So very true to the Golden Age roots. And yeah, it was a great way to end it. I guess they couldn't have not have the Joker appear at least a little bit because people would get upset. You look how upset people got when they said that Harley Quinn was unrelated to the Joker. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. Well, they have,
did, and they did it
good.
Beautifully.
Yeah, they have.
She was her own character. She wasn't she wasn't Harley, the Joker's confidant. She was Harley.
Yeah, she wasn't an accessory. She was her own character.
Yeah, but I would have been happy with how they with just him standing on the rooftop with the lightning.
Oh, me too.
But I guess I'm okay with them. With ending on the Joker. I'm glad they didn't elongate it, though. They did it perfectly. Yeah,
I have to wonder if maybe they were originally going to end it on Batman on the rooftop, and then maybe after some focus group testing, they were like, "Oh, we were expecting the Joker." So,
what about the Joker?
Yeah, they just decided to add him because,
or maybe they heard the podcast or whatever thing of me saying it.
I don't think anyone that works on Caped Crusader watches or listens to my stuff. I once sent James Tucker a message and he liked it, but he did not respond. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I don't mind, though. I'm not salty about it.
Who? I'm joking. I know who. I know.
How dare you?
I know who
How dare
he is. I know who he is. But I knew it. I just, in my heart of hearts, I knew that's how they were going to do it because there was no... nothing about the Joker at all. People were actually saying, "Oh, he's not going to be in it." No. And then that always means there's something to it.
So basically what we've learned is don't believe the press releases because the press releases made it sound like it was set in the 1940s. It's not.
No.
They said that Clayface was motivated by revenge. He wasn't. That Renee Montoya and Harley Quinn were girlfriends. Not quite. And that the Joker wasn't, or they implied, or maybe we inferred from it that the Joker was not going to be in this first season. He was.
But yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it. I am shocked that they got rid of Harvey so soon.
Yeah, I mean, he was Two-Face for 2 episodes, and that's it. I mean, that's kind of perfect in a way, isn't it? Two-Face is Two-Face for 2 episodes, and then he's gone.
I'm so looking forward to season 2, and I really hope that Mr. Freeze is going to be in it.
I was going to ask you then, so just to kind of wrap up this episode, what are your hopes for season 2? So you said Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, they have to. And if they get Arnie to do it. Could you imagine?
Oh my God, redemption for Arnie.
I know, but could you imagine?
Yeah.
He would probably do it too. He'd be like, "Can I do this over the phone?"
So what I would like to see...
I wasn't finished.
I know you're not finished. We're going to just bounce back and forth. So what I'd like to see. So Jonathan Crane gets mentioned twice in this show.
Yeah.
Harleen Quinzel mentions that he was her mentor at university. And also there's his self-help book that was featured in one of the newspapers. I would like to see the Scarecrow and see what they want to do with him. I kind of like the idea that he's actually like a self-help guru that kind of helps people be their better selves by confronting their fears. But we'll have to wait and see if that ever happens.
I would like them to have in one of the newspapers in the next season something about Superman.
Oh, they're not going to have any... Well, hang on a minute. I've just remembered they said in the press release that they don't want to have any other heroes in there. Maybe if they get to 100 episodes, they would consider it. But then I just remembered the press releases lied.
But do you know what I mean? Like, flying man. Is it a man? Is it a...
Angel saves child from falling building.
Yeah. But yeah, I want more of the GCPD.
Yep.
I definitely want more of Renee and more of Barbara. Oh, and I want Commish. I want the whole story.
What do you mean by the whole story?
Like, I want his origin story. I want everything. I want more.
Well, we know he used to walk the beat in the poorest area of Gotham. He knows it like the back of his hand.
Yeah.
He cares about the people there. He's been promoted. I think in the again, I'm going to bring up the press release. They say that he was promoted to that position because they thought he'd be easy to control, but he's proved to be quite the opposite. And because he's so effective, he's very popular in the press, so they can't get rid of him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it might be nice to see more stuff with like the corrupt politicians trying to sabotage them. I think that would be cool. One thing that I really desperately want, and I'm so annoyed that DC haven't already scheduled this, is a tie-in comic. Because My Adventures with Superman's only just got a 6-issue miniseries, and season 2's finished, and we were like 2 issues in on the My Adventure, or is it 3 now?
I don't know.
And it's at least 2. So they need to hurry up and get a Caped Crusader tie-in comic. Get one of the writers from the show to write it, even if it's just a 6-issue mini. Get Jordan Gibson drawing it. Shout out to Jordan Gibson, artist on Batman, The Adventures Continue. He did a really wonderful Caped Crusader image that he posted on Instagram. And I let him know that I said that his editors at DC should get him on a Caped Crusader tie-in comic. At the very least, get him drawing the covers. But let's get interiors as well.
You know what I'm going to say now. And if you don't know, I'm surprised.
Well,
you know who has to be in the second season.
Ace the Bat Hound.
Well, obviously. That's a given. I just think he's there, but he's not there. Like, he's there in the background.
He's
but,
upstairs drinking water out of the bowl.
Out of the toilet.
Oh, of course. One of Wayne Manor's 17... Oh, Ivy. Okay.
I just want them to introduce her. I don't necessarily think she needs to have this big... whoop-de-doo, because season 3 might happen.
So, okay, season 1 had 8 main villains, but we had references to Deadshot, Killer Croc, and who was the other one that showed up? I'm drawing a blank at the moment. Oh, King Tut.
Yes, King Tut.
So that's technically like 11 villains, but let's say 8 villains. 8 you want to see. So Joker is going to be in it. We know. We're pretty certain of that, unless they just keep saving him, and that would be quite funny if they did.
Joker, Freeze.
Ivy. I said Scarecrow. That's 4. Who else?
Oh, Riddler would be
Riddler?
nice.
You think Riddler might be nice?
Just for an episode.
Okay, 5.
No! Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter, that will make that 6. So we've got 2 more slots open. I would like to see... Let's think about some obscure villains that are
You know
really
what?
cool.
I know Lobo isn't a Batman villain, but just have him come. Just this alien rocker dude listening to Motorhead. Like, if you like to gamble, I tell you you're Batman.
That would be quite a style clash, wouldn't it? Sort of 80s rocker and 1940s aesthetic. And that he does fit the character that is not traditionally a Batman villain appearing in a Batman thing, like Onomatopoeia did.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see someone like, what was his name? The whale, no, not the whale, excuse me, Great White Shark. So he was a guy who was a corrupt businessman that scammed people out of money, and he claimed insanity to get out of going to jail for the rest of his life, and they sent him to Arkham, and he was driven mad and tortured in Arkham to the point that like his nose fell off, and he now looks like, they call him a shark.
We have just completely glossed over that there was no Man-Bat.
Yeah. Oh, would you like to see Man-Bat?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I want Man-Bat.
Oh, because we haven't had any like weird science or supernaturally characters, have we? So, all right, who are we removing?
Supernatural. We've had Gentleman Ghost.
No, I mean, but for season 2, we've got to have some supernatural characters, like Etrigan the Demon, perhaps.
Etrigan would be nice.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other ones that aren't characters I dislike. I don't want to see Clarion the Witch Boy. I don't.
Who does?
I'll just hear him going, I want cake.
I want cake.
Ugh.
I want cake.
Yeah. I
want Man-Bat. So I'm looking over there at your poster. I mean, we had Catwoman.
Do you know who will be good? Bane.
There was when Harvey Bullock, when you saw his silhouette at one point in the last episode, I for a brief second thought, oh, they're gonna bring Bane in, and then they went and turned it around. It was Harvey.
So Bruce Timm famously doesn't really care for. Well, at least he didn't care for the Nightfall storyline that introduced Bane. So I don't know if they'd ever bring him in, but I think that would be cool if they did.
Yeah.
So, any other final thoughts on Caped Crusader? Any other wishes for season 2?
Robin.
No, Robin. No.
Robin.
No, Robin. If there's 4 Robins, I'm going to explode.
Robin.
No Robins. No Dick Grayson. No Jason Todd. No Stephanie Brown. No, I've just drawn a blank on her name. Carrie Kelly. There we go. They can stay in the orphanage and stay there. Do not come back.
No, I want a Robin.
No.
Yes.
I have no say in this, so who knows what
Alfred needs somebody to take care of.
We just said Ace the Bat Hound's upstairs somewhere.
I think that's my wish. Those are my wishes. So I'm going to say it one more time. Mm-hmm. I called it. Literally the last scene. Mm-hmm. I called it.
I tell you a character I would like to see, actually. I've mentioned this before, but I would like to see Detective John Jones, a.k.a. Jean, the Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be a superhero. He could just be a Martian living among them, and Batman will figure it out and determine that, actually, this guy's okay.
He's all right.
I'm going to leave him alone. What?
I was just thinking, like, John Jones.
Yeah. There was a Detective Jones listed in the cast, I think, or at least a Jones. Mm. But I think he's a Gotham Central character. I think. Mm. I'll have to go back and look it over again.
Okay, so this has been our journey with the Caped Crusader, and we are so looking forward to the second season.
Yeah, just got to wait 2 years, I bet.
I've not always been the most articulate person in these podcasts, but hey, I was right about one thing and one thing only.
Yeah, and I was wrong about pretty much everything. So. Just goes to show what I know. Oh,
it was a beautiful show. It was really, really well thought out, and they took so much. They put so much into this, and it must have taken so much effort. And the cast are amazing. The writers, the directors, all of the creators of the show, I just love, because it brought me back to a time period that I loved with BTAS, but it gave me something new and refreshing. Mm-hmm. But they still know that one of the main reasons people are watching this is because of the original show. And they put loads of reminders in there for us and little, Easter eggs. And I really enjoyed that. And the Easter eggs aren't going to be as obvious to some people.
Yeah.
As they are to, super fans.
Yeah, I think I'll do a little video just highlighting the most obvious ones. So, like the newspapers, the movie that Yvonne, whatever her surname was attending and photographed at. Alfred's book.
Mm-hmm. Alfred's book.
Yes. I think my final thoughts on Caped Crusader are it was worth the wait. It wasn't what I was expecting. If you've watched my review, then you know all my thoughts on it. But it's far more subtle than I was expecting.
I have one question now.
Fire.
Oh, can I play some of The Sims now?
No.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. I would say what I usually say. Oh, I'm going to get so much better at this podcasting thing. You know what? This is my type of podcasting.
Yeah.
I just say what I want. I do say what I want.
I guess we've got Totally Schway Flipside episode coming up after this.
And that is going to be about Deadpool Wolverine.
Yes, because we went to see that in the cinema before recording all these podcasts, and now... And now Mary has thoughts she wants to share.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to go play The Sims now.
Cool.
I love you. Bye.